Hey everybody, y'all welcome. This is Nicky Terrell. Y'all know who this is. Yeah, I'm back in your house once again. If you ain't watched my show, I would encourage you to tune in. And if you don't know the name, just holler. Because the name of my podcast is Nicky Terrell Makes Me Wanna Holler, a world on that. And I want to take this time to introduce my co-host, Mrs. Joe Bloundine. Now, if y'all don't know, you will know, Miss Joe Bloundine has her own segment of the Makes Me Wanna Holler podcast. Her show, or her segment, is called What's the 411? Y'all hear me now? What's the 411? And you know, we're going to keep it real. We're going to get deep down and dirty. We're going to get into all the chaos and absurdities and the calamities in everyday life, especially with Donald Trump. Now, y'all know I'm deep in his stuff now. I'm telling you now. So, without further ado, I'm going to turn this over to my co-host, Miss Joe Bloundine.
Well, hello, everybody. My name is Joe Bloundine. What's the 411?
What's the 411?
And I'm giving you the information of what's going on around Atlanta and the outskirts. Okay. We got the four queens, a legendary queen that's coming to the State Farm Arena.
Oh, Miss Bloundine, what's going on now? You say, who?
We've got the queens, the legendary queens. There's four of them.
The legendary queens
that's coming to the State Farm Arena.
So,
September the 20th.
who would that be? Diana Rose? I think she's a legendary queen.
You know, we got some legendary divas. There's four of them. Miss Patti LaBelle.
Okay, so these queen divas.
Yes, they're queen.
What's their name?
You got Patti LaBelle. You got Gladys Knight. You got Chaka Khan.
Oh, y'all heard that. Chaka Khan, boy, I'm trying to tell you.
And you got that, the Wiz diva, Miss Stephanie Mills.
Miss Stephanie Mills. Who else?
Yes, those are the four divas. Patti LaBelle,
Gladys Knight,
Chaka Khan, and Stephanie Mills.
That's four. That's four, y'all.
They've been on the trail a long time.
Is that four for the price of one?
Yes, they're gonna. It's gonna be a one-night thing. It starts at 8 p.m. at the State Farm Arena in Atlanta. Miss Patti LaBelle, she's been on the trail. She's a Grammy Award-winning diva. And I love her songs. You know, she always kick her shoes off too. And if I be on the front row, she kick her shoes off. She gonna be missing a pair of shoes because I ain't returning them. I ain't returning no shoes. She kick them off if she want to and kick them over there to me. But she won't be getting back.
So Miss Joe Bloundine, what's the 411? What else she talk about?
Well, Miss Patti, I remember back in the day, she started off back in the 60s and the 70s. She had the group called Patti LaBelle and the Bluebells, and then she went from Patti LaBelle and the Bluebell to LaBelle and that Lay Mama Lay song, and that was in 76. Miss Patti can sing now. You know, she can hold them notes. And I remember when she was singing, you know, Somewhere Over the Rainbow, the Wizard of Oz song. She did that.
You know, we filming in the ATL, y'all. So I know that Gladys Knight is a resident of the ATL. She was born. That's a Georgia girl.
She's Georgia Peach.
Is that what they call them? The Georgia Peaches. I'm a New York cat, so we get to bite into the Georgia Peach. We like them big and fat, round, juicy peaches. You understand? So we just make it do what it do. So,
but you know, Miss Patti LaBelle, you are my friend. Only you knew. New attitude. She has a multiple. She got a long list of hits. Miss Patti. Miss Patti
LaBelle.
Huh?
Miss Patti LaBelle.
Yes, Patti. You know, Patti is a spokesman for diabetes because several of her sisters died of that, and she's a spokesman for the Diabetes Association.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's the four. I mean, you said. Yeah. What's the 411? We talk about the happenings in and around the ATL.
Yeah, let's get it wrong.
And also, we talk about what else?
Yeah, Miss Patti, and you know, Patti wearing heels like this, girls, and she 81 years old. Patty is still kicking. Her and Gladys both are 81 years old. And them girls look good. I don't know what the secret is, but I need to get some of it. I tell you, and Miss Gladys, she was when she first started off back in the days. It was Gladys Knights and the Pips. The Pips was her brother Bubba and two cousins.
Okay.
And then she went solo, but she got a midnight train to Georgia.
Yeah, I remember.
That's what friends are
I'm
for.
old school. But listen, when you start talking about things like that, you about to tell your age now, because, I'm an old dinosaur. I'm back then in Smokey Robinson, the Temptations, and all that kind of folk tops, you name it. But, today, these young cats today, this is a different genre of music. So, I don't know if they can plug into that. But before I go any further, Miss Blundine, Miss Joe Bloundine, I want to talk about these tickets. See, because, every time I hear one of these multi-platinum celebrities are coming to town and doing a show in town, they ain't like back in the old days. I'm from the days of the Apollo Theater, 125th Street in Harlem. Y'all understand? That's where you make them or break them, Jack. Everybody who became anybody had to go through the Apollo Theater. But I remember back then.
And get boo.
Listen, we used to pay about $30 for a ticket back then to see, whoever. We didn't see all of them practically in the Apollo Theater. But now, I looked online, y'all, because, I was telling Miss Joe Bloundine, maybe we ought to go and, go to the show, maybe go backstage, do a candid interview with Gladys and the girls and, see what's going on with them in the whole 9 yards. They want to get with Joe Bloundine and what's the 411. They want to let all their fans know and keep abreast of, and they probably got their own podcasts anyway, but still, it's just another venue or avenue to kind of get the information out there. But, y'all, do you know to get front row seats, it's $500 and some odd dollars.
And
now, wait a minute.
Well, you got four divas. You got four divas singing. They're gonna put on a good show.
So
they got hits after hits after hits after hits.
Miss Blundine.
Yeah.
If I wanted to take you or a lady, a friend, or whoever, my mother, my sister, whatever, if it was two of us going, that's $1,000. I mean,
well,
listen,
they got cheaper seats.
Well, listen, look.
You ain't got to get that.
Yeah, but look, the cheaper seats is way up. I mean, listen, you need binoculars, Jack, and you're going to sit all the way back up there. And they are starting at $200.
Well, you drinking
all the way up in the I don't even want to call it, near the roof. Where's that thing at again?
It's at the State Farm Arena in Atlanta.
Near the roof of the arena. You know what I'm saying? You way up there. You need You need glass. You need binoculars.
Those girls are getting old. They ain't gonna be around much longer. I want to see them. I did see Stephanie Mills on Tom Jones' program out at Lakewood about 10, 15 years ago. Mm-hmm. I hadn't seen Gladys. I hadn't seen Shaka Khan. Mm-hmm. And Patty. I would love to see them.
Wow.
And Stephanie Mills, even though she's a tiny little girl, she can wheel that voice now. She can sing. Mm-hmm. She can sing. She can sing real good. Put a rush on me.
Okay, well, that's good to know. So better. Listen, all y'all got it firsthand from Miss Joe Bloundine and What's the 411, where she bring you the happenings in and around the ATL. If it's happening in this town, we gonna be the first to let y'all know right here on What's the 411. So if y'all trying to get up to date on what's going on in town, make sure you're tuned into Miss Joe Bloundine. What's the 411? I'm Nicky Terrell. I'm a little bit more serious. I'm on the political side. I'm with the politics. And right now, I'm trying to put a noose around Donald Trump, if y'all don't know. So y'all make sure you're tuned in because he's doing some really crazy stuff, man. He really sinking this whole country. I've got several podcasts, several commentaries on my podcast that I think would interest y'all, but I'm always going to disseminate useful information and wake up your consciousness so you can see it from a different perspective. And then I want to say, we're going live at the end of this month, Miss Bloundine. And we want to invite all our viewers and people who tune into our podcast to be guests on our podcast show. You know, we want your voice to be heard. So make sure, you know, that y'all subscribe so you can be put on the VIP list. You know, I'm Nikki Terrell. I'm going to turn it back over to my co-host, Miss Joe Bloundine, and she's going to give you a little bit of the news. What's going on in the news? We already know the happenings. Okay, we got that down.
Yes, you know,
Okay,
as I
so
said,
what's the news today?
Gladys Knight, Stephanie Miller, and Chaka Khan are going to be at the State Farm Arena on
No, Miss
September
Bloundine,
20th.
you already said that. That's
and
the happenings.
That's the happenings.
What's the news? We bring you the news and the happenings in and around the
also,
ATL. What's the news?
Students Without Mothers.
And where is that at?
It's here in Atlanta.
It's an organization?
Yes.
Called Students Without Mothers?
Students Without Mothers. The students, they have studentswithoutmothers.org where you can go in and be a sponsor for a child for $10 or $15 a month.
They got Students Without Mothers scholarship.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's Students Without Mothers.
Yeah, they do scholarships. They fundraise for a scholarship to help kids that without the mothers to go continue their education. It was founded by Miss Mary Williams, because she was a student without mother.
Mm-hmm.
Her mother passed when she was young, and so she developed that program to help students without mothers to continue their educations, whether it's the mother's due to death or other circumstances that.
Well, here's what I come up with. Students Without Mothers is a nonprofit organization.
Correct.
Let's get that out the way. They're not for profit. They're proactive in the community. They're about empowering and impacting lives. Students Without Mothers. Now, Students Without Mothers, that term is really, that really, ooh, that hits home. Are there really students that don't have mothers?
The mothers have they could have died or been incarcerated. The mothers are not in their life due to circumstances. They as I said, they could have passed or they could have been incarcerated. The students don't have their mothers, and they need the Student Without a Mother program. They do fundraisers, and you can donate every month to sponsor kids at the program. The Students Without Mothers. Help them go to school. They have a benefit coming up.
Okay, so they're dedicated to helping high school students without mothers help themselves. Now y'all got to hear that. They're dedicated to helping students without mothers help themselves. Self-empowering. By empowering them to continue their education. That's number one. Mm-hmm. Now, the organization's main purpose is to provide scholarships for college bound high school students who are without their mothers due to death or an unfortunate circumstance. So, listen, Miss Bloundine, this is worthy news.
Yes, you can go to studentswithoutmothers.org and pull up their studentswithoutmothers.org and pull up their information and donate monthly.
Right.
You can join monthly to $10 or $15 to sponsor a child, a student rather, to get some, school supplies or whatever.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Well, listen, that's should be about to wrap up for right now. This is just a little brief, short thing to introduce Miss Joe Bloundine to our audience and our viewers so they can tune into her segment of the show, which is What's the 411, where she bring you the news and the happenings in and around the ATL. Y'all heard it live right here. I'm Nikki Terrell and
Joe Bloundine. What's the 411?
Peace.
Hey everyone, I'm Joe Bloundine, your host of What's the 411, bringing you the freshest and the hottest happening in and around the ATL. From events to culture, I've got the inside scoop you don't want to miss. So tune in and hit that subscribe button and join my VIP membership to stay connected with the city most talked about podcast. Trust me, you want to be a part of this incredible community. Let's keep the conversation going. See you there.